Rutgers? I mean, it seems like their numbers and their record don't necessarily match up. What do you think?
They got a lot of talent, and I think they're very well coached. I think it's kind of just the fickle nature of our game a little bit, right? They had some close losses in there, and they've just been on the wrong side of it. So all I know is that they're, like I said, they're very talented. Coach Owens does a great job. And they're going to be very, very motivated, obviously, to kind of dig themselves out a little bit in the conference standings. But it's still really, really early, and they're a 21 team already, so they're doing some things really, really well, obviously.
What are you doing, or how do you kind of have it lined up rotation-wise for the weekend?
I think the plan is to do the same thing this weekend. Yep.
What's McConaughey kind of shown you on that Saturday spot to stay there?
Just that he's able to get us deep in the game. I mean, he throws strikes. He can put people away when he gets ahead, and he can navigate the game. I mean, he's obviously at a different level, but he was a starter, last year in junior college, and a really good one at that. So just his ability to navigate situations, and he's got stuff to get out of spots.
You talk about the ability to stop opponents from running, stealing bases,
Yeah.
and whatnot. How much of that is coaching and just emphasizing it? How much of it is the personnel that you have to execute?
I think it's both. I think Coach Childers does a great job of, just calling picks, not just to do it, but do it with purpose. It has to do with the pitchers on the mound executing the timing. You don't just come set and pick the same way every time. You've got to mix up your looks. Obviously, Josh has done a nice job as well, but I think just all those things kind of play into it.
I feel like the bullpen's performed the last couple of games.
Well, I think the guys that have gotten the ball more often than not have done a good job. Obviously, the crooked number, to avoid that, you got to attack the zone, and the guys that have struggled at times are getting behind in the count, and they're either having to come over the middle of the plate and getting hit, or we're getting things started with walks or hit by pitches. So I think the guys that you've seen that have gotten the ball more often, the Dices, the Borst, the Perrys, all those guys at the back end have done a very good job. It's been a little bit hit and miss with some of the other guys, whether it be, like I said, falling behind in the count or just not executing pitches. Really, it's the first pitch strikes and the 1-1 counts, right? Like, can you get the count back in your favor when it's 1-1? The guys that are getting the ball most consistently are doing a great job with that.
How have you seen Brett Sears grow from the start of the season now as a player, but also
Yeah.
in his confidence?
You can see his confidence grow. I mean, he's always been a very confident young man, but just with success that breeds that, and he's obviously had a lot of that. You see it often with pitchers, right? The velocity shows up when it comes to that too. So early in the season, he would maybe touch some mid-90s, but not as often as you're seeing now. He feels pretty fearless on the mound, and that comes, kind of projects through with his pitches.
Does that fearlessness kind of carry over to the rest of the team?
It does, yeah. And again, like I said, the guys that get the ball, probably that group of 10 or so guys that have gotten the majority of the innings, that's what they do. And that, just like hitting and just like everything else, that's contagious.
Well, how much of Brett's progression is Rob Childers?
Well, I think certainly Rob deserves a lot of credit, but Brett's the one that's putting in the work behind the scenes as well. So I just think that's been a nice blend between the two of them. Rob, his ability to communicate with Brett is an older, 23-year-old, 24-year-old going on now. So he's able to articulate what his wants, needs, and desires are too on the mound. So they blended those pretty well. Brett works really, really hard, and Rob's certainly done a great job with him.
Well, offensively, are you guys at a spot that you're getting near the midway point of the regular season? Offensively, are you guys doing what you wanted to be doing at this point in the year?
No, I would say no. I would say we're still trying to hit our stride offensively. I think we've had some good moments. I thought last night was a step in the right direction, just as far as the aggression, how we were able to get some extra base hits and some big hits because we were more just ready to swing the bat, and we've got some guys that can do that. We've been a little passive at times for my liking, and to be a really good offense, you've got to dictate your at bats, and so we've got some guys that are still trying to mesh together and trying to figure out, okay, at this level, what works and what doesn't work. And we've had some guys that didn't get off to great starts that you're starting to see some things come around from some of those guys too. So I think the best is yet to come for our offense. I don't think we've done it nearly as well as we can. There's been some great moments, but I think we can certainly continue to get better, and I expect us to keep getting better.
You have an update on Brumbaugh for this week?
Brumbaugh looked good yesterday. He threw yesterday before the game, felt good about it, didn't have a lot of pain. I would expect that we could be looking to him to play this weekend.
What's Sanderson kind of brought when he's been able to be in there, just from a quality of that point of view?
The big inning that we responded last night, he was really the main reason why. Left on left, he had about a 10-pitch at bat. It goes as a single in the scorebook, but what he was able to do to set up the rest of the lineup for that inning was a big reason why we were able to get back in the game. He gives you a great at bat. His bat's in the zone a really long time. I've hit him leadoff. I've hit him 3, 4, a lot of featured spots in the lineup, and really all he does is barrel balls up. So it's been pretty impressive up to this point what he's done, and his makeup has a lot to do with that too. He's a grinder in the cages. He has a lot of confidence. It's quiet confidence though, so he understands that he doesn't get the results he wants without putting the work in.
From your point of view, is it almost a little frustrating that you haven't been able to get him in the lineup a little bit more than maybe what you have been?
It is, and you've seen we're trying to get more offense going now, right? So putting him in left field, and Stoney got a little nicked up last night, so he went over to first base, and he can play some different positions. And again, it's just our job as coaches is to figure out, okay, how can we, get these guys all in the lineup together without completely sacrificing defense. And we were chasing runs last night too, right? So, you saw some movement with some guys in some different spots.
Why was the hit rate on junior college recruiting so high for you? It seems like everyone from that level that you guys took has been a contributor.
I think it's just, you go evaluate prospects, and you have an idea of kind of what translates to this level. You look at their stats, obviously, okay, that only tells one part of the story, the batting average, and, because the pitching is a step down, but are they commanding the strike zone? Are they putting the ball in play consistently? Are they able to use the entire field? And we have access now to things that, if you're not sitting in front of a game watching, that you can have more advanced film study on guys too. So I think that probably plays into it somewhat, and some of it's just a little luck of the draw, right? You'd like to think that you're going to hit on every prospect that you go see, and sometimes for whatever reason it doesn't work out. It very rarely has to do with talent, though. Usually it has to do with makeup, and so I think we've done a good job of hitting on makeup.
Those guys mostly been plug and play, or what goes into making that transition smooth?
Yeah, a guy like Silva, right? So he's got 70 grade speed, so that's going to translate to this level. His bat to ball is really, it's a high, he's got really good hand-eye coordination. So those are two things that aren't going to go away, just because he's moving up a level. So there's certain things that you can look at with a guy and say that's going to plug and play right away. Other things you may have to develop a little bit. The velocity piece of it, can you do more training to get the swing tightened up? And I'll say the biggest thing for a player transferring up is, are you surrounding them with more players that are above their ability level? That's the key, right? Because they're all, the more that they're around good players every day, the better they're going to get, because they see the level that they've got to get to. So, and that's been a big part of this development of some of these junior college guys too.
Will, you mentioned Rutgers being a 20-win team. How important is this weekend, given the last week or so you guys have lost 3 of the last 5? So,
yeah.
As you look ahead, how valuable is this road trip you guys have coming up?
Yeah, they're all valuable, right? We were in it to win it last night. We didn't come out on the right side of it, but they're all valuable. Like I said, Rutgers is a really talented team. They're very well coached. They're going to be hungry to get back in the race. And we've got to. I just think you can put the 10-game winning streak aside and some of the great things we've done at the front of the season. We have yet to peak. This team has yet to peak. I believe that wholeheartedly. You're starting to see us play a little better defense. The hitting has been a little come and go. Pitching's been pretty consistent. I think if we can continue to just get better, that's going to be the goal for this team. And obviously this weekend's huge. It's a conference weekend. You got a chance to respond and have a winning week. And to do that, you got to go start and win Friday.
Just curious, Coach, has nothing to do with
Yeah.
anything, but could you have challenged that last play at first base based on what Kansas challenged earlier?
The last play of the game,
Yeah,
as far as if he was out or safe,
yeah.
I couldn't have challenged it, no. But our team could have challenged it, I guess. Yeah, I didn't see the play. Obviously, I was already long gone by then. So. Was he safe? Did I miss
And
something?
he looked like it was close. It's
Oh.
a lot closer than when.
Oh, I think he was out. But
Okay.
yeah.